Imagine standing in a quiet valley late at night. The air is cold, the mountains are dark, and everything around you is completely silent. Then suddenly a glowing ball of light appears in the sky. It floats slowly above the valley, sometimes hovering in one place, sometimes shooting across the sky faster than a plane. This is not a movie scene, it's a real mystery that has been happening for decades in a remote valley in Norway. The place is called Hessedalen Valley, and for more than 40 years, people living there have reported seeing strange lights in the sky that nobody can fully explain. This phenomenon is known as the Hessedalen lights, and even scientists studying it still don't have a final, complete answer. To understand this mystery, we have to go back to the early 1980s. Around 1981, residents of Hessedalen Valley began noticing something strange in the night sky. Bright glowing lights would suddenly appear above the valley. Sometimes they looked like small floating orbs. Other times, they were long streaks of light that moved extremely fast. Some witnesses described them as white or yellow. Others said they sometimes appeared red or blue. The most surprising part was how often they appeared. At one point during the early 1980s, people reported seeing these lights up to 20 times in a single week. Imagine living in a quiet mountain valley and watching mysterious glowing objects appear again and again in the sky. Naturally, people became curious. Some were fascinated, others were a little uneasy. Word about the strange light slowly began spreading beyond the valley. Soon, researchers and scientists became interested in what was happening there. In 1983, a group of organized scientists came up with an investigation called Project Hessedalen. Their goal was simple. They wanted to observe the lights, record them, and figure out what was causing them. Researchers set up cameras, radar equipment, and different types of sensors throughout the valley. And surprisingly, the instruments did detect unusual activity. Radar sometimes tracked objects moving through the air, captured glowing lights hovering over the ground. Some lights stayed still for several minutes while others moved across the sky at incredible speeds. One of the most puzzling things about the light was how unpredictable they were. Sometimes they appeared low above the valley floor, other times they appeared high in the sky, sometimes they moved slowly, almost drifting like a balloon, other times they shot across the sky in seconds. Scientists realized they were dealing with something unusual, but the question remained, what exactly were these lights? Over the years, researchers proposed several possible explanations. One of the most widely discussed ideas involves plasma. Plasma is a state of matter similar to gas but with electricity charged particles. The theory suggests that certain minerals in the ground may interact with gases in the atmosphere. When these conditions combine with electrical energy, they could create glowing plasma balls that float in the air. Some scientists believe the valley's geology might make this phenomenon possible. The soil in this region contains minerals like iron and zinc. Under certain conditions, these materials might release energy that produces glowing lights. Another theory suggests that the lights could be caused by natural electrical activity in the atmosphere. For example, something similar to ball lightning. Ball lightning is a rare type of lightning that appears as a glowing sphere during storms. However, the Hessedalen lights appear when the weather is calm also, which makes this mystery even more complicated. There are also scientists who think the lights may also be caused by dust particles in the air. According to this idea, dust could become electrically charged particles and begin glowing under certain conditions. This would create floating lights that appear and disappear suddenly. But even with all these theories, none of them fully explains every observation. That is why scientists decided to keep studying the valley. In 1998, researchers installed a permanent monitoring station in Hessedalen. This station continuously records the sky using cameras and scientific instruments. It allows scientists around the world to study the lights remotely, and interestingly, the lights still appear even today. Although they are less frequent than in the 1980s, sightings continue to happen. Sometimes photographers capture stunning images of glowing orbs floating in the sky and above the valley. In some photos, the lights look like bright spheres, in others, they appear as long glowing strikes. Because of these images, the Hessedalen lights have become one of the most famous unexplained natural phenomena in the world. Tourists and researchers travel to the valley hoping to see lights themselves, but seeing them is not guaranteed. Sometimes weeks pass without any sightings, other times, multiple lights appear in one night. This unpredictability is part of what makes this mystery so fascinating. Even with modern technology and decades of research, they still remain only partially understood.